At your home, home.
At my home.
He's got a long driveway with a lot of cars in it.
Most of what I drive is a new Jeep JK. I also have a TJ I drive. I also drive the crop duster around.
Where's the Corvette cart and why isn't it here?
What year is the Corvette cart? Is it an 84 or 5? I always forget. I think it's an 85.
Where is it?
Sitting in storage in Compton, California somewhere.
It's quite expensive to ship cars cross country, so our budget pretty much only allows 5 cars.
Pilot takes really good care of us. It's a trade-out deal, but they basically give us one truck which fits 5 cars, especially when you have Stubby Bob, which takes 2 spots, so we can't bring everything.
Let's be honest, that's the only one you really wanted to see.
That car was here last year. We tried to mix it up with some different stuff.
You guys have another Roadkill Nights coming up too, by the way, which is going to be in Detroit, right?
This is a must do, even though it's 6 hours from here. Roadkill Nights, we are having drag racing on Woodward in Pontiac, Michigan, the day before the Woodward Dream Cruise. It's going to be incredible.
On Woodward.
Woodward.
Yeah. No going to jail.
Yeah, and no going to jail. It is legit.
Unless you really earn it.
It's totally worth it. It's free to get in. The racing slots are taken, unfortunately. I think we might open up another 30 or 40 here in coming days. But you can still get in the car show, you can still come and watch. There's going to be like 50,000 people there. It's going to be crazy.
Roadkill on Woodward, that's the most important thing. A lot of people think, oh, it'll be on the side somewhere.
No, we're drag racing on the street.
It took a lot to make that happen. Wait till they find out that a zillion people are going to show up to the race. And then folks, the governor's going to be like, wow, what did we do? And Finnegan and Freiburger, ear to ear grin, you know, that's all you'll see. Any other questions for the Roadkill crew, Finnegan and Freiburger? Questions, anyone? Yes, I see one bubbling up and under. What's your name? Where are you from?
Gus Wilson. I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Why did the Rots not come this year?
Why the Rots did not come? The crankshaft's broken in half and the engine's out of it, and we haven't gotten around to fixing it.
I still say push it here, but nobody loves it as much as I do.
Yeah. People often wonder, well, why didn't you fix that? Well, often what happens with us is we'll wrap an episode and that car will go into storage and we won't see it again until we decide to do another episode with it. Stubby Bob, literally, you crashed down on the wheelie, it went on the trailer, it went out of our sight, and we didn't see it again until Power Tour a month ago.
I had nightmares, between then and now, but yeah, haven't seen it in person.
So we don't have time to just randomly hang out and fix the stuff that breaks on Roadkill because we're on to the next Roadkill.
Roadkill questions, anybody? Roadkill questions. Anybody have a Roadkill question? Who's got one? Yes, sir.
Our biggest fan.
Do you miss any of the cars that you've sold?
I miss the, what do you call it? Macho Grande. That was a good Suburban. That thing cruised. It's in Finland now.
The Prius was kind of cool.
I don't miss the Prius one bit. What else have we gotten rid of?
It's the only one that shot fire.
I don't miss the Jeep.
Fire.
Do you miss the Jeep even a little bit?
Never.
No. Don't miss that. What else have we got?
You realize if the Jeep had broken 300 feet, 400 feet sooner, we'd have been on a highway doing 60 and dead.
We would have been dead. Yep.
Well, that's nice. There we go. On a lighter note. Wow. Where do you go with that? Happy days. Wow. Yeah, we've been dead.
I don't see him. Where'd he go?
Questions.
There he is. Oh, you're right in front.
I'm here. Questions for the crew of Roadkill? Finnegan and Freiburger, anybody got a question? They just stare. You're calling in for backup, sir? Who are you talking to? Can we talk to them? Who is that? Your friend Kevin?
Does he have any questions?
Tell him your front row. Ask Kevin if he has a question. Just any question. They can, whether it's algebra homework or like redesigning the wheel, whatever. Hold it. Ask him a question. We're gonna find out. Kevin, speak up. You're gonna be on speaker for a second. We have kids listening too. Don't ask them, put them on. Take all the fun out of it.
It's riveting entertainment here, Clarence.
I know. Here we go.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Dave.
What are you wearing?
Well, I have my Cinderella outfit on right now.
Kevin, why aren't you here? You sound sick.
I'm at home. Eating ice cream.
Wait, he's at the autocross.
Oh, he's here.
Oh, you are here.
Oh, is he drunk? Why isn't he here?
Are you winning? Did you beat the kid in the Ford Ranger? That's all that matters.
Whoa.
Because Lord knows we're not beating him.
Everyone see us auto-crossing the Mazda earlier today? It's a lot of fun.
He says they're streaking, or he's streaking. I don't know.
He's streaking. There you go. All right. Best time in the Maserati.
30 point. What was it? 30 flat with a 3 or a 6 or something. Mediocre.
Yeah.
Questions? Anyone? What do you got?
Are you ever going to take the General Mayhem back to Dirtfish Rally School?
We hope so. That's the greatest time ever
Dirtfish costs 10 grand a day.
to rent.
Which, so if you think about how we film, we show up, they set up all the cameras, we drove the Subaru 1 or 2 laps a piece, and then we each got 1 lap in the Mayhem at Dirtfish. So
Basically, what you saw on screen is how much we got to drive that day. That always happens. So $10,000 for basically 20 minutes of fun.
yeah. Which
So
in addition
that
to
makes it hard.
In addition to our mediocre driving skills, it factors into how bad we are at Roadkill, because you don't get to practice, you don't get good tires, you don't get good brakes. He uses up the car every time before I get it, or crashes it.
It's always my fault.
And so that's why you see what you see.
Questions? Yes, sir. Got another one right here.
Do you wear anything else besides flip-flops?
Every once in a while. You'll
Solid
see, actually,
question.
in the Stubby Bob episode, you'll see I'm wearing my steel-toed boots because that thing is terrifying.
Here we go.
You guys still have bad blood with Gas Monkey?
Nah, we never really did. Right?
I don't know, they kind of suck.
Aaron's nice.
Aaron's cool.
You gonna be drag racing anything in Detroit?
At Detroit. We're trying to figure that out. We're going to shoot an episode around Roadkill Nights in Detroit, but we're probably going to be bringing something from someplace else. I think we'll be drag racing, all right?
We have to.
Yeah, we will.
It's our event, why can't we race?
It's going to be really good.
Do you have any plans to put a larger motor in the Maserati?
Larger motor in the Maserati. We'd like to fix up the Maserati, and I think we would probably do the world's most boring thing and put an LS motor in it, make it really fast. That would probably be the thing.
Or that all aluminum V6 I gave you for the Hemi that's in my car.
Yeah, no.
With turbo.
Anybody else have questions for the crew? Questions? Wait, I got somebody over here. Yes, ma'am.
You guys going to be dragging tonight?
We don't have helmets or shoes or pants.
Flip-flops.
So,
Sound like excuses to me. That guy says you can wear his pants.
Give you it. Let's go.
Uh-oh. Here we go. We got somebody back here.
Whatever happened to the Ronco?
oh, the Ronco. That was the episode number 3, Cheap Truck Challenge, Bronco. We bought that thing, Finnegan. Remember when he jumped the thing in the sand dune at the end? That actually put a hole in the oil pan. And I think I put like literally a piece of chewing gum over it, and we drove the thing home. On the way home, we had, remember we put a spool in the back and one tire went low and blew up on the highway?
Yeah, like 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was good times. But no, we sold it for like $700. It's gone. Yep.
A lot of those stories seem to end the same way. Yeah, then we did this, and then it blew up, and then we almost died. Gosh. Anybody else got a question?
But we didn't.
That's the good thing. Questions? Roadkill questions?
You walked right past him.
How many of the cars are truly yours? You'll get to keep like forever?
Not many. Blasphemy is his. Ramp Truck is now his. El Camino is his. What else?
I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then mine are Crusher Camaro, Super B,
Muscle truck?
Muscle Truck.
Macho Grande that you got rid of.
That one's gone.
A lot of them
And
were yours.
Nah. Oh, well, the Scrambler. Everything else belongs to the company.
Yeah.
Do you
The
think
Gremlin was
there's-
yours.
Not anymore. It was.
Why? I mean, is the Charger yours, or is that just owned by Roadkill?
The General Mayhem was mine, and I sold it to the company. So that is no longer my car.
Questions?
Yeah.
Questions?
Oh, he walks out dejected.
You are no longer his hero.
I'm no longer his favorite fan.
Where do you come up with your ideas?
That's
Right
an
here.
excellent question.
Right
Last
here.
night we were eating Mexican food and having a beer, and we figured out the greatest scheme ever for Roadkill.
We know that when we're sitting at dinner laughing and not drunk and tears are running down our face, we probably came upon the right idea. That's what happened last night.
Sadly, that doesn't happen every month.
No.
Are you heading back to the Salt Flats?
You know, this is going to be the first time since 1998 that they're going to run a Bonneville race and I won't be there. We have to deal with the Roadkill Nights thing that same week. So yeah.
And it's rained out the last 3 years, hasn't it?
Last
2 years
But
in a
this
row.
one, it's looking solid, so. But I will not be there.
Questions? Yes, I got one right over here.
What happened to the F-bomb Camaro?
It's still around. As a matter of fact, if you follow us on social media, you'll see it here and there. We're still fiddling with it. Tom Nelson, who built that car, is working on a TV show pilot, and we actually shot some stuff with that car racing a supercar here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it'll be on that show if they ever get that sold to go on air.
The Mighty Car Mods episode.
Yep.
That coming up?
Yep.
I believe the week before SEMA, we're filming with them.
Yeah.
We still don't know what we're doing, though.
No, but it doesn't matter. Those guys are way cool. And basically, if you put all 4 of us in the same room, we're going to come up with something entertaining. Those guys are all right. So yeah, we are in the middle of making plans with them to shoot in November. He was asking about Mighty Car Mods, which is a show on YouTube out of Australia.
Is that going to be here or down in Australia?
It'll be here in the States.
Okay.
Yeah. They are coming here.
Any other questions? Roadkill. Any questions about Roadkill Nights?
Over here
About
in the
taping
back.
The show. Here we go in the back here.
Please ask questions because
Finally.
we can't dance.
Him, my boy. What was the challenge with the Hot Rod Garage that you guys have coming up?
We're shooting that next week. It's a junkyard rescue challenge. Go to a junkyard. Basically the same thing we challenged Gas Monkey to do and that they wouldn't. Hot Rod Garage guys said, yeah, we're in.
Questions about the TV show, about drags, about racing, about who's faster,
How to score chicks?
how to score chicks, from 2 married guys who've been successful at that, I guess.
I read a book about it once.
Here we go.
Who would win in a foot race?
Oh, Finnegan would win in a foot race by a long shot.
I got shoes on, so
By a
I'm always
long
ready.
shot. I would be dead if I ran full steam from here to you.
Hey, what about, as far as taping the show, how does that go for the people who've never seen a TV show taped? Like, what's the week like? How long does it take, a week?
Well, there's no tape. How old are you, Clarence? Come on.
Video.
It's all digital now.
The process is
Everything's
really
on
simple.
Youngsters in your digital with your smartphones. Get off my lawn. Yeah.
The process is really simple. He and I will text each other and find a car or a place we want to go. And then we'll plan to do that. We'll all get together, about 5 of us, and then that plan just goes sideways.
Always.
And they roll almost all the time, taping us because there isn't a script and we don't know what's going to happen and we don't know when the car is going to crash or blow up. And then some poor sucker has to sit there and watch all that footage for like 2 weeks and then edit it down into what you see.
Yeah, the editing time takes longer than anything else. We'll shoot in 5 to 7 days, and it will take them 2 weeks to physically look at all of the footage before they decide how to compile it into a story. And of course, we give notes at the end of every shoot, sort of giving them the outline of what we thought were the highlights, but still, we'll shoot one scene in a car, and there will be 3 GoPros on us, 1 out the front of the car, 1 looking at the rear tire. Then there will be a drone in the sky shooting us, and then there'll be 2 cameras on the ground looking at us. So for every 1 minute, you have to multiply that times however many cameras I just said, 7, and that's how much they have to look at.
All that just to watch us fail.
Yeah.
Has there ever been, in taping the shows, has there ever been something that was a real disappointment? Like you really set out saying, we're going to do this?
Every episode.
Yeah. Biggest fail so far, you think?
The biggest fail was the first shoot where we tried to go to Alaska. Like we tried so hard that when we were driving on our way to Alaska, I think this is right around Utah, every 20 miles I pulled over because I was going to kill us. I was falling asleep, and then he would drive for 20 miles and he was falling asleep.
Not even 20.
And we were just swerving on the highway. It was so dangerous because we hadn't slept in like 3.5 days. And at some point we realized we were so far behind, we'll never get there before the race starts, so let's go to the Grand Canyon, I guess.
That was an entertaining fail. What bugs me is when we have a boring fail. Like when we went to Colorado and picked up the Harry tow truck and it was reliable and nothing happened. We just drove home. That ruins the show. And the thing is, we don't fake anything, so we don't just script, well, the thing that better break down at 2 o'clock and there better be an urgent deadline for somebody waiting for us. We don't do that. And so when you see a boring show, it's because that's what really happened.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Questions? Questions, anybody? Questions? There we go. How did they meet?
How did we meet?
He hired me.
I met you at West Tech, actually, I think when you were the editor of Sport Truck.
I thought I met you at Brule's 50th birthday party.
I think that also, but yeah, right around that time. So we had a mutual friend who we're both very tight with still, Steve Brule, who runs West Tech Performance. You'll see him with me on the Engine Masters show. And then when I had an opening on staff at Hot Rod, I called Brule, I think, and asked him if you were, a schmo or not. And he's like, no, he's good. So he came in and we hired him, and we just started right away making those videos, like the one where we rescued the Buick out of the backyard and the Crusher Camaro trip. And then when YouTube decided to start paying us to make videos, that turned into Roadkill, and here we are.
How I knew you were cool was my first job assignment was to make the vet hat car run so we could destroy it. It was great.
Yeah, his first week on the job is when we cut the whole body off the vet hat car. It was good.
The Stubby Bob episode, was that wheelie as painful as it looked?
Not immediately, but about 8 seconds later. It sucked, let me tell you. Because what happened was, it went up, and I did not think it was going to wheelie like that. And it went up and hit the trailer hitch and threw me into the steering wheel, and my foot came off the gas. And before I could think fast enough to put my foot on the gas, it came down and bounced, and then I hit the steering wheel again.
And it broke a front leaf spring, which we only learned today.
Oh, yeah, go over there and look at it, because the driver's side leaf spring, the back of it, broke completely off, and we were just driving it around. We had no idea. Very responsible.
Yeah. It's amazing we've gotten away with what we've gotten away with. The stuff we've driven on the street, as far as we've driven it and lived and not been arrested, it's truly amazing.
Let's talk about that. Have you received any certificates for performance driving on the streets by authorities or anything like that?
Someone threatened us with a pipe bomb.
Yeah, we did.
What?
We got threatened with a pipe bomb when we did the vet cart episode. We legitimately, there was a Corvette club that was irate. And one guy literally said, I'm going to send a pipe bomb to your office. But that wasn't the police. We got tickets. I got a ticket for, where were we? Missouri? Someplace like that. In California, there's so much traffic that there's no law that says you have to move over for emergency vehicles. You just blow past them in whatever lane you're in and wherever they're standing, which is what I did. The guy hunted me down and ticketed me. I think that might have been after you were gone in the Camaro.
It was in the, no, I was with you. It was in the Crusher Camaro on the way back from Indiana after PRI.
Right.
We swapped the motor in it. Yeah.
But I think that's the only actual ticket we've gotten. It's not the only time we've been pulled over. But
no, it's not in the episode, but the Lamborghini versus Rat Rod thing. The Rat Rod was just so horrible that you couldn't see out of any window, and you had to kind of drive with one leg on the dash. And I ran a CHP officer who was on a motorcycle off the road because I couldn't see him when I was changing lanes, and he just kept on going.
I saw it. Yeah, he did keep on going. LA, they just don't care. They got other things to worry about.
Wow. Yes, sir, down here.
What's your least favorite car that was on Roadkill?
Least favorite car on Roadkill?
Plymouth Fury.
Oh yeah, for him it's definitely the Fury. I know my least favorite episode, which is the mullet car one with the Camaro and the Mustang. So I suppose you could put those cars together and say I hate them the most.
That one had potential. We were gonna go race those cars wheel to wheel on an off-road track, and then
it was just a flop.
One motor blew up. We couldn't race, so crush him with a Jeep, I guess.
Lame.
What happened to the donkey that was welded to the top of the Fury?
It went into my brother's pool room because we discovered the donkey's actually bad luck. Everything we put the donkey on broke, so I put it next to my brother's pool table thinking that would help me beat his ass at pool. That didn't work, and I think it's in my garage right now, actually.
There was a deer on top of
that was Power Tour.
That was Power Tour.
Yeah.
I turned around. Deer. They drive in and there's a deer on top of their ride.
We bought it at a pawn shop.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Chevrolet was thrilled about that.
I know. They were like, "Nice job, we found this." So where's the deer right now?
It went to the guys at Kicker, I think. Kicker Car Audio.
It went to Copeland. Remember, we auctioned it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he took it. I don't know where it is. I think it's gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Question everybody for the crew of Roadkill about the show, maybe about their cars.
Behind the scenes, tech questions.
Yeah, here we go. We got somebody back here.
When you guys first started Roadkill, did you think it was going to be...
Everyone always asks that. Did we have any idea
I knew
it was going to be what it
here
is
in
now?
front of you.
Yeah.
I did.
No way. We had no idea it would turn into this. And really what we have to thank for it is that episode with the Lamborghini and the Rat Rod. Because at the time, YouTube was paying us to make episodes. YouTube decided that they wanted to go in competition with cable TV, and they hired a bunch of companies to make unique original programming, and we were one of them. And so when we made that show, they glommed onto it and they promoted it to everybody. You couldn't watch a gardening video without getting recommended to go watch that one. And today it's got 45 million views. And that's really what spread the word about Roadkill and turned it into what it is now. We never could have seen that coming.
Internally, we had a conversation about how long Roadkill should be, and we were sitting there going, no one's going to watch anything more than 3 minutes on their iPhone.
I didn't
This
think
isn't
so.
happening, and we were wrong.
And now everybody tells us longer. We want, 50-minute episodes.
You know, we have a lot of pro builders out here with the Pro Builders Shootout, and we've got the awards coming up later on today. What do you guys, off the top of your head, what stands out when you're looking for cars? What do you gravitate to, and what really stands out?
For Roadkill, or like when we were doing magazines?
In magazines, because a lot of people, you're both involved with magazines and Roadkill. And
For magazines, for me, it was always character. I always asked myself, why should that car be in Hot Rod Magazine? And frankly, just because you have $500,000 in it and it's flawless doesn't mean it should be. That doesn't make it have character. That doesn't make it interesting. I was always looking for innovations, new styles, somebody who did something remarkably fast for what it was, or remarkably cheap for what it was, that type of thing.
I like all the zip ties to be facing the same way. That's a good car for me.
Yep. Line them up.
Questions, zip ties, there we go. Questions. Any questions? Yes, sir.
What's the most fun car you drove?
Well, the most fun car we drove just on Roadkill or in life? In life.
General Mayhem at Dirtfish.
General Mayhem at Dirtfish is right up at the top.
Everyone should do that. If you get the opportunity, where were we? Oregon or Washington?
Snoqualmie, Washington.
Go to Washington, pay whatever it costs, bring your own rear-wheel drive car there, and just have the time of your
Race
life.
Dirtfish.
There is no more fun than rear-wheel drive on gravel. It's amazing.
That was a fun day, but that's really the best time you've ever had in a car?
Well, every time I beat you at anything is cool.
This is good, yeah. Man.
Doesn't happen often.
Hey, so
I don't know, I've driven a lot of stuff. It's hard to say.
Oh, the vet cart at that road course.
You like that more than I did.
That was cool.
Yeah, you were in denial about spinning out, whereas I just owned it.
There's video of me not spinning out. There's a lot of video of me winning.
GoPro batteries die.
What makes for a good burnout? We've got burnout competition coming up at 5 o'clock today in the infield. We have some former champions coming back to burnout. But are you guys big fans of burnouts?
I love burnouts, but a lot of people do them wrong. A lot of people, and you taught me this. Give you all the credit for this. You don't do a burnout and stay in first gear. You need wheel speed. So start in first, get into second. If you're really cool, get into third. Let's see a 100-mile-an-hour burnout. That makes smoke. That's cool.
For me, the greatest burnout is the power rolling burnout. When you can be at 35 miles an hour and mash it and downshift and the thing just sends the tires up into a haze, that's the coolest burnout.
Burnouts today at 5 o'clock in the infield. Your burnout champion, we will crown one today here at the CarCraft Summer Nationals. Anybody else have a question? How about some Roadkill questions? Roadkill back here. What do you think, sir?
Wasn't a Roadkill specific question, but what was your most disappointing moment in a car? Any car?
Oh, wow, that's a long list.
I took a Corvette to prom and it didn't go the way I thought it would. Twice, actually. 2 proms, 2 Corvettes.
I had qualified at Bonneville for my fastest record ever at 261 miles an hour, and on my backup pass, I blew a tire and did not back up the record. That was probably the worst. Of course, I also got to go 214 miles an hour spinning backwards, so that had merit, but no record. That was a pretty big bummer. That's an expensive bummer. But even worse was we took our land speed car one time and shipped it to Australia to race at Lake Gardner, and literally you have to ship the thing to one coast of Australia, put the thing on a truck, drive it to the middle of the country, put it on a train, put it on a mule train. I mean, literally it had to change transportation like 3 times. We get to Lake Gardner, they canceled the event. Went backwards, shipped the thing all the way home. That was a disappointment.
I still think my prom fail is probably more disappointing.
It was great for the girl.
17, I was excited.
Yeah, but prom kill was just last week.
Yeah.
One question, when are you going to do Roadkill and motorcycles?
I'm not doing roadkill on motorcycles. I fall off motorcycles. I'm uncoordinated.
I love motorcycles, but every time I get fired up to buy another one, somebody I know goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, so we're at one of those bottom moments again.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh, somebody died. So,
Or
questions?
wheelies into a gas station.
Yeah, exactly. Roadkill questions.
Questions about production, about cars, about episodes, about Hot Rod Magazine.
About the wagon van challenge, how bad did your back hurt after that jump?
Mine was killer. I think it was his you're talking about.
Yeah, that's me. If you see in that episode, he's talking about when we took the van and the Buick wagon out in the desert. There's a scene where I jump the thing, and you can see my head go all the way up to the headliner, and the car comes down. You see my head go all the way down below the window. I exploded my L5 disc. It's a miracle that I can actually keep doing what I do. So yeah, that was bad.
Look at the pride he takes in that. I exploded it, man. The L5's gone.
Oh, it's not even fooling around. It's bone on bone. It's bad.
Well, that wasn't even a jump. That was just a dirt berm we were jumping. Like the landing was to
like
flat.
that much clearance.
No, but there was no transition.
Oh yeah, there was none.
And then flat landed.
Yeah, it was bad.
Not ideal.
So you were in publishing for a long time before you Roadkill and the TV and everything like that. There's a lot of young people here who are just getting into it. How did you end up writing and being such a big, important part of Hot Rod Magazine, Carcraft, the whole thing?
I was really into car magazines as a pretty young kid, like 8, 10, 13. And I collected old Carcrafts and Hot Rods and read them all. So I knew all the backstory and everything. And after high school, I was working at a Dodge dealership, and I went and saw that there was a job open at Carcraft. And this is like 1987. And I interviewed with Jeff Smith, who was the editor of Carcraft at the time. And basically he's like, get out of my office, punk, come back when you have more experience. And I did. I got some freelance gigs, and I came back to Jeff in 1990. And of course, he didn't remember any of this, but he was the editor of Hot Rod at the time. And I met with him and Pat Ganal, and I was offered jobs at Rod & Custom and at Hot Rod. And of course, I took the one at Hot Rod. And that's how it all began. I have no college degree. Keep that in mind, kids.
Mike, how did you end up getting right into the mix of everything? What was your first breakthrough job?
Oh, it was really prestigious. I took 6 years to get an associate's in arts degree.
6 years? What?
6 years.
Wow.
There was a lot of badminton classes and some tennis and bowling, I think, too. And it wasn't until, I think, one semester short of my 6th year where I finally ran into somebody that gave me some direction. I saw a guy walking around a car show with a camera, and I asked him what he did for a living. He's like, I go to car shows, I take pictures, and I go home and write stories. And I'm like, finally, there's a job I'm interested in. And he told me, just go to college, take creative writing courses, journalism, photography, whatever you can learn about that, and then go to California. And so I did. I crammed like 18 units into one semester, and then left for California. Because I grew up in California, but at the time I was living in New York. And I showed up the week that somebody quit at Mini Truck and Magazine, and walked in there and got a job. And I was clueless. I didn't deserve that job at all. But I had built my own mini truck, and they figured if you could build them, you understand them, we'll teach you how to take pictures and write about them. And so it all started with mini trucks, really.
What was your first car?
Second gen Camaro, totaled it.
Well, how about you, Dave?
My 70 Super Bee that I still have.
Yeah. No total.
No total.
It still exists.
No, it's hard to total it when it just sits in the garage the whole time.
It's a great track record then. Hey, questions, thoughts, concerns? Okay, here we go. What do you got?
How'd you feel after doing that big wheelie with Bob?
Lots of Advil.
Bang.
The worst part of that, I thought it was going to be the spinal compression. I think it was the whiplash of bashing your skull off the steering wheel.
I didn't even realize I hit my face on the wheel until you showed me the video.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm like, you needed your visor down, dude. That was bad.
Questions? Yes, sir.
You guys have a merchandise booth set up anywhere?
There's no merch booth here other than what they've got right there in that tent.
And I think that yesterday they had Roadkill gig in there.
Yeah, they did. They had some jackets left. They have some Blasphemy shirts right there.
Awesome. Anybody else? Questions? Yes, here we go.
He's got the Hot Rod shirt with the John Kazi Y block on it.
It's a great shirt.
It is.
You guys had 2 episodes where you tried to make the Maserati go 10s. Do you think you have any further plans of doing that?
We don't have a current plan to do it. I think we're both confident the truck could actually go 1099 if we messed with it the right way. But again, it just comes down to we don't have time to fool with that off camera. So if we ever decide to bring it back, yeah, we'll probably shoot for that.
Yeah, it's a legit 10-second truck for one pass. After that, they're kicking you out for oiling the track down.
I mean, it went 1206 just on the motor, and that's easily sprayable to a 1099, even with as bad as that thing is.
With people that know what they're doing.
Questions? Questions? There we go. New guy right back here.
Who's so you guys have obviously got to meet all your hot rod heroes. Dave, you grew up reading the magazines. Who's the coolest personality, like, after you met him?
Rutledge Wood, hands down.
Rutledge is the nicest guy on the planet.
In person as he is on camera.
He really is, but he wasn't like, hero status for me, although he's an awesome, awesome guy. I was really tight with Dick Landy, who was a Mopar Super Stock and Pro Stock racer back in the 60s and 70s. And so that was pretty cool. I remember he was probably the first really big guy who I met when I was doing the job, and he took a liking to me. He thought I was like the last of the actual competent people. So that was very cool of him that I got to hang out. It was cool.
What car did you take here?
We flew into this event. Last year we drove his El Camino, but this time we flew in just to
we
hang
have
out
an
with
excuse
y'all.
though. We're leaving from here to go shoot another Roadkill. So we can be late for the end of Roadkill. We can't be late for the start. It just doesn't work.
You seem like a couple of really cool guys to hang out with,
We're
have
not.
a beer with. I know. So some of it is a lot, right?
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, the beer we can find out.
Okay. I bet you will. But how are you taking the celebrity? Because obviously you were behind the camera, you're writing words, but all of a sudden now people notice you and hi and all that stuff.
It's weird.
No, I gotta be honest. Like I haven't met anybody that obviously drinking age applies. I haven't met anybody that I didn't want to have a beer with. Everybody's been like, you're all car people. You're all interested in the things we're interested in. So it hasn't been that weird.
The part that's weird to me is my job here is so radically different than what it used to be. I mean, normally I'd be walking around taking pictures, uploading stuff on the internet, actually working as a journalist, and now this is what we do. But the other bad thing is I've had 7 fans randomly stop at my house, and that just was like, I don't really need to be that kind of known person. Oh, it's strange, yeah. Yeah. Wow. So it's weird.
I don't tell my wife when they show up at my house. That just freak her out.
Yeah.
Questions, anybody? Questions? Somebody back here, what's that?
Where's Richard? I don't know, Dave, call him up. Where's he at?
We called him from Power Tour. That was funny.
She loves Richard. Everybody mock her right now.
Stalker. You want his number? Come on over, I'll give it to you.
Oh, I dare you. Give it out right now. Do it.